Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Hello, it's the Frank Skinner Absolute Radio podcast with Emily and Gareth. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
It might not be a morning to the people who are listening, of course, so that was a stupid thing to say. Just
Good
say
day.
hello. Yeah, good day. There'll be a day involved. Yeah, so we just did the show. We loved it. We laughed. We cried. We sang. Did we cry?
I cried.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Lee Mack was on. I love Lee Mack.
yeah, Lee Mack is, I think, one of the funniest men in Britain. I've always said that. Well, I haven't always said it, obviously, because...
No, I thought you said you were the funniest man in Britain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was me. I thought it was Lee. It was actually me. Yeah. Oh, me. I suppose in my heart of hearts, I do think I am the funniest man in Britain. In fact, the world. I would never say that in public, but I do honestly believe that.
We heard a great story as well. We heard a great story about an incident involving you, the OC, and Dave Gorman, which I think people will enjoy.
Yeah. In case you don't know, the OC is Christian O'Connell, who does Absolute to Breakfast. I mean, I know you'll all know that, I'm sure. But, you know, there's people listening in... There's people listening in... I can't speak anymore. I'm just going to semaphore the next bit. Where are my flags? Where's my flags? Could you get me my... I mean, come on! People listen abroad.
Yeah,
my point.
true.
Sorry.
I was late this morning.
You were late.
I was late, and I need, we didn't mention it on the show, but I think I need to say something publicly.
Oh.
So I didn't just let you down, I let the listeners down.
Oh.
And,
well, you weren't late for the show, you were just
no,
late.
I was late. Well, but I was late
never
for our
showed up.
preparation.
Oh.
What?
I said you never showed up.
Oh dear. We've had a
Kick
bit
a
of an
man when he's
incident.
down.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. Well, I don't know now. We've had a bit of a scene has happened on the intro to the podcast, which is I've always thought of as should be a scene-free zone. It's all gone a bit awkward in the studio. You could cut the atmosphere with Posh Spice, just with her elbow. So I think maybe we should play the show now, and then I'm going to have a word with you to bang your heads together.
Yeah.
I'm going to flounce out with my pashmina.
whether-
Good day to you.
I don't think there's enough room in here to flounce. I think you might have to lope. Oh dear, it's gone very awkward. So do enjoy the show, which isn't at all awkward because it happened before this. Whack.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily and Gareth. I couldn't keep that straight. It sounded so like a DJ talking that I just started giggling. So I spent the entire night, as far as I can work out, watching Big Brother, because I got in...
Oh, so did I.
I'd missed the previous night, so I watched that on Sky Plus, and then I watched it live, and then I watched the later on show.
And there were 2 evictions.
There were 2 evictions, yes. I will be very sad, I must say, to see Heidi Fleiss go.
Oh, I loved Heidi.
Although
my
I have been
favourite.
on the edge of my seat, because I tell you what, she's got the driest lips I've ever seen on television. And do you ever do that thing, you know, when you're going to sneeze, and you think, my lips are so dry, if I sneeze, that they'll both split like ripe figs. And you go, and just when you're on the third, you lick your lips really quickly to try and rescue them. Well, I don't think that would have been enough for Heidi. I think Heidi would have had to bring in some sort of men with sprays. So one good sneeze, and I think the whole lot would have opened, and goodness knows what would have come out.
I liked her eviction outfit. She went very low-key, didn't she? She just had some old Uggs and tracksuit bottoms.
No, I like that. They don't do the homeless look normally. I mean, she looked like she'd been properly evicted from some sort of council house. No, I thought that was a good look.
I'm quite glad to see the back of that cat one.
Oh no, I didn't like her.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh no.
Oh, she was awful. Where are her eyes as well?
And also,
like gingerbread men eyes.
She spent.
Dreadful.
Yeah, she actually got ginger. What
They
are
just put
gingerbread?
little raisins in them, so
Didn't they?
hence no eyes.
She sort of went. That's the sound I'll always associate her with, and I don't want that around me. That's not a laugh, is it? That's some sort of nervous filling of silence. You imagine,
Gareth, you just did that.
You imagine Ronnie Wood sitting at home, you know. He's a crow, isn't he?
It sounds like some sort of pterodactyl with dyed hair.
Yeah,
you're suggesting.
and then doing some joke she doesn't get, saying, like, I can't remember, I said to Mick Jagger, I said to Mick Jagger, God, it's terrible, wasn't it, like, the war? And she goes, I mean, that would have been their home life. There's a great quote from Ronnie Wood in the paper this week saying that, he's been seeing another Russian woman while she's been in there, a 26-year-old.
Oh, yeah, that was only 3 days, though.
Yeah, but he said he just did it to make Katia jealous.
Oh.
Ronnie obviously doesn't know that they don't see the outside news. Completely waste of time. So what's your favourite... I'll tell you my favourite quote so far. Oh,
yeah.
man, I love this. And that was when Ivana arrived. Actually, there's two favourite quotes.
Okay.
When Ivana arrived, she brought in this enormous Louis Vuitton suitcase.
It was a valise.
Well, a valise? What does that mean?
Well, it's like a suitcase, but it's what people like me say.
Yeah, but... Okay, a valise.
Yeah. Just get on with it.
And Cisco said, man, that's the biggest Louis I've ever seen. So what is the difference between a valise and a suitcase?
It's just a posher name for it. Do you know what I like? I like what Vinny said to Nicola, the sort of page 3 girl / wag.
Yes.
When she said, I hate it when people call me a wag. I don't think I'm a wag. And you went, no, you're not a wag, love. You're not a wag. Wags go out with Premiership players, don't they?
Yeah, I know. He's such a snob. And my other favourite quote was when... this could go on all morning, but we won't talk about it all day. It was when Lady Sovereign... she got some argument about food, and she'd eaten the mashed potato before it had been liquidised during the sort of old person special they had in the week. And she said, God, all I had was like a cat's paw of mashed potato. And that's a fabulous unit of measurement, isn't it? I love it. Just get into it. It's just a cat's paw of mashed potato will do me. Thank you very much.
It's not a very hygienic unit of measurement, though. If it was in a recipe, you have to go and find the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're always licking. They're always licking at the...
That's true.
It's funny you should say that, though, because my girlfriend was attacked by a squirrel this week.
Oh, wow.
I'm not making this up.
By a squirrel.
Yes, that's it. You've summed up the complete event in exactly the same words that I did. She was walking through St James's Park in central London, and with a friend, Carmen, and this squirrel encircled her leg on the way up. They'd run round the tree trunk, went round. Not that my girlfriend's legs are anything like a tree trunk. Can I mention
not
that?
Not remotely like tree trunks. Very
there was once that tawny owl that used to live in her behind. Anyway, so he encircled her leg going up, and then he sort of hung from one of her buttocks by his claws.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, she got proper scratches on her legs. It was, yeah.
Are you sure these are from a squirrel, Frank? Did you believe this story?
I hadn't thought of that. You think she could be seeing some sort of, I'm going to say the word dwarf on the side. Is that what you're suggesting? Oh, no, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, so you've got to be so careful now. I'll have to hire some sort of private detective and all that. Maybe I could get a weasel in one of those, like, trench coat. No, she had to. She was supposed to go for a tetanus, but her theory was that its claws would have been clean because it's snowing, so they would have somehow been sterilised. Oh, she's worked it all out.
Absolute Radio.
What we was thinking, by the way, as far as Celebrity Big Brother is concerned, is that not Miss Sovereign, Lady Sovereign, I don't know if you know her, but Lady Sovereign is a very obvious choice for a role in a forthcoming musical, because they're going to make a musical of the Spice Girls, the story of the Spice Girls, and she'd be a perfect Mel C. I mean, she's so...
She does look like Mel C.
Yeah, she's totally... She can sing a bit as well, so she could be... And we thought we'd ask you this morning, our beloved listeners, to phone in and see who you'd cast in the other parts playing the Spice Girls.
Oh, I like this. It's good fun.
Yes, I think so.
I've got a few up my sleeve.
I was thinking maybe Chucky as Jerry Halliwell. You'd need a wig, but he's got like the cheeks and everything.
She's quite Iggy Pop, maybe, as well.
Iggy Pop as Jerry Halliwell.
The sinewy body and the hair.
Maybe he could do Victoria. Actually, he's slightly.
Oh, that's Kim Jong-il, isn't it? I think she's got something about a sort of
Kim Jong-il. I don't know that. Who is that?
The Korean leader.
Oh right, okay. Oh, you're okay. Yeah. Ronnie Wood could do Pop Spice. Be all right, wouldn't it?
What about Mel B? Eddie Large? That'd be good.
Rusty Lee. It's a certainty. I mean, it's got the laugh and everything. Yeah, anyway, we'd love to know who you think should play the spot. We haven't made up the music, and it's a proper...
Yeah.
It is happening, so someone will have to be cast. And I honestly think Lady Sovereign would be in with a serious
I do as well.
chance. She's got it all there. She'd be in with a sort of a cat's paw of a chance, if I may say that. Didn't we have a night out the other night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we had a night. If you'd have been with us, we went to the Houses of Parliament. We were invited. I mean, we didn't turn up with like small beards on, carrying barrels. And
We all met outside. It was like a school trip.
It was like a school trip, and Dave Gorman was there as well. It was a proper the OC was there.
Oh, I love the OC.
Yeah.
I love the OC now.
In case you don't, if you're not absolute, that Christian O'Connell is now around these parts as the OC. Yeah, so we were watching Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Who are a band, again, if you don't know that, and Scottish, but they were allowed in because that there was a bit where we had a tour. We had a fabulous tour of the House of Commons, and I love that. I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. And there was a bit where William Wallace had been sort of tried for treason. William Wallace being that bloke.
Is he the Mel Gibson one?
Yeah, he's the Mel Gibson. He'll always be known as the Mel Gibson
That's
one.
how I learned history, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's that. And and Biffy Clyro looked a bit edgy around that.
Yeah.
They could turn at any
Well,
moment.
I thought they rubbed it in a little bit. The tour guide says, oh, the Scottish people will like this. This is where we suppressed your culture for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It was a bit...
I thought that was all right as a link. Because we stood where Charles I had been centred to... He'd been centred, because apparently he was swaying, certainly to the left. And it didn't look good on the portraits. It looked like that people had tried and straighten the portrait. It was him.
But I should say at this point, Frank, that we didn't get to see that much of you, Gareth and I, because you were like a rat up a drainpipe after that speaker. You just went straight over to that speaker.
Someone came up to me and they said, would you like to see the speaker? Well, I thought they'd mistaken me for a sound engineer. But it turned out that John Burko, who is the speaker, very small man, posh, was there. And I went over and had a chat to him. You know, he's the bloke who now says, order! Not like the old speaker, Martin. Order! He wasn't there, sadly. I think he's in disgrace now. But, so I went and met him. I would have thought it brought you all over, but I don't think you'd have liked him.
Why?
Well, because, I think he'd asked to see me especially, I'll be honest. It was an audience. It was an audience with the speaker, that's what it was.
He didn't know who you were. He thought you were in Biffy Clyro.
How dare you say that to me? Yeah, it was... and then we went in a cupboard. We were allowed to go in a cupboard, weren't we? Which is where a suffragette had hidden.
You did, Boris Becker.
Did you not go in the cupboard?
I did. Oh no, I did go in the cupboard briefly, but on my own. I hasten to add, we didn't go into the cupboard together.
No, but suffragette Emily Davidson, who ended up under the King's horse, of course. I mean, she died. I don't mean she was.
Right.
I don't mean she was going out with some sort of equine boyfriend. I don't mean that for a second. Oh God, this has gone. It was just a perfectly decent story.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Are you still a little shaken, Gareth?
Yes.
Gareth came. We saw Gareth the other day for lunch, and he was genuinely shaken. I loved it.
Yeah, I was attacked by... Well, I was intimidated.
Was it not a squirrel? Is it some sort of outbreak?
Well, she was sort of quite squirrel-like. I was intimidated by a tiny teenage girl on the bus on the way to see you. I had my Oyster card, which if you don't live in London...
Or if you're me.
Or if you're Emily.
Don't use public transport.
An Oyster card is a bit like a driver.
Oh, okay.
But one that's a card and you can put money on him and swipe him against... Anyway.
Did I tell you I went into Nobu? I was with Michael McIntyre and his wife and my girlfriend. And when they came for the bill at the end, I said to the waiter, can I pay for the oysters on this? And gave him my Oyster card. And he just looked at me. Horrible, nothing, no laugh. Then I went, no, don't. I'll pay for a month. All right. I ate that. Cast my pearls before swine. Anyway, so you're on the bus with your Oyster card.
Yes, and I beeped it, and it made that sound, which means... Well, I didn't know what it meant, so
Were you on Family Fortune?
So I swiped it again, and it made the same noise again, and I kind of looked at it and thought, oh... And she said, it means you haven't got any money on your Oyster card, so why'd you keep doing it?
This wasn't the driver, this was some...
No,
was she behind you in the queue?
No, she was just standing. It was quite full, but she was just standing there, policing the bus.
Was she one of those people who stand and talk to the driver?
No, she wasn't talking to
I don't know if you get those in London. When I was a kid in Birmingham, that you always, when you got on, there'd be like the driver's mate would be there, and they used to look at you in that. Oh, you just get on. I'm the driver's mate. I'm not going anywhere.
Was it on a steam train? It must have been.
I think it was Wells Fargo. So how did you handle it?
I just stood there and wasn't allowed to check again if my Oyster card worked. I wanted to check because I thought I had money on it, but then I couldn't because the young girl had told me not to.
What, you were frightened?
I was frightened. I didn't know what she might do. Well, it was just a status thing. She had taken the ground of being in control of the bus, and I
don't know what's happened.
I had a tramp giving me evils the other day.
Yeah. Okay.
I was on the tube. I do get the tube. It has happened. Something
I think
happened with my
tramps
driver.
probably always give you evils, Emily, because you walk past looking like Cruella de Vil.
And the train was delayed, and the driver made an announcement and said, "I'm sorry, this train is delayed due to."
You don't have to do a working class voice. We know we've established you're on public transport. Don't rob it in.
He said the train was delayed due to a hobo on the train. So I thought,
Does anyone... You did say hobo, didn't
Yes,
you?
hobo.
That would have been a bit extreme,
I
wouldn't
was
it?
going to say, how dare you? So I thought...
No, I'm not getting off, why should I? So I
thought, I'll check out this hobo. So
He actually called them a
Yes,
hobo?
a
Okay.
hobo. So the hobo was
Did he
led
have a
off.
stick with a hanky tied up on the back that was red and
You see, you're not allowed on the tube with a stick. No, I think that's right.
So the hobo was led off, and it was a lady hobo.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a lady tramp.
a lobo? A trampess.
And so as they were sort of, she seemed to be in some distress, and they were talking to her.
The lady tramp sounds like something you'd buy as a home appliance, doesn't it? The new lady tramp from Ronco.
Sounds very Disney.
It does, yeah. I don't know what you'd do with it, but I'll think about it.
So they were talking to her. She was in some distress, and then she said, "Stop it! Everyone's looking at me! Everyone's looking at me!" And then she went, "She's looking at me!" and pointed right at me.
Oh, God.
And I was staring at her, and I did have a fur on
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't have helped.
Yeah. So everyone turned to me in a Jacques Hughes fashion.
Yes. Who?
Jack who?
And what happened? Was she thrown off the...
She was led off. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
They didn't take you as well. She said, "She's looking at me." Okay, you get off as well.
Yeah.
You're going to look at the tramp.
They thought you were some sort of sponsor, probably. You were just taking her out to get her used to the bright light. Oh, well, in a way, it's a lovely story. I can't work out which way, though. Basically, it's you being horrified by someone who's homeless on public transport. You were already ill at ease, I should imagine. God, I bet you could see the vapours, the vapour trails of swine flew in the air when you got on and thought, oh, this is going to be very awful.
Absolute
Radio.
I can imagine you on public transport when the homeless person was identified, that you taking out glasses on a stick to examine them. So, yes, we're asking people to phone in and say who they would cast as the Spice Girls in the forthcoming musical, because they need 5 people to play the Spice Girls on stage. And if you can text us on 81215.
Ian Blair's texted to say Stuart Broad should play Baby Spice.
That's a good...
think that's
Ian,
good.
Ian Blair, is it him again, the police chief, wasn't he?
He's not actually the police chief.
Oh, okay.
He's just a man who likes our show, who happens to be called Ian Blair.
Well, that's good. That's better than being a police chief in many ways.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis would be good as...
Oh, this is my phone alarm.
Ah.
This is what I wake up to every morning.
Oh, this is interesting.
No, but this is why I spend the rest of the day singing Hong Kong Garden by Susie and the Banshees. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
How long are you going to play this?
Hong Kong. Hold on. This is me going across the bedroom. And relax. I played that for a specific purpose.
Oh, okay.
Because if you go to the apps on your iPhone...
Oh, check you out with your apps.
Oh, yes. You can download an alarm call from us.
Oh.
Did you know that? If you go to the... don't ask me any more details. That's all I know. You get to do you get to Absolute? Yeah, you get to the Absolute.
Your manager, when you said that, started shuffling around in his seat, obviously wondering if there was money involved.
I don't think there is money involved. I think
sorry,
we're giving all the money to, in the light of what happened this week, to squirrel research. In case you've just tuned in, my girlfriend was attacked by a squirrel this week, which was...
This news just in, everyone.
Yeah, she was quite... I'd love to know if anyone else, actually, if any of our other listeners... I've never heard of it happening before. I've never...
No, I haven't.
I put it down to those hazelnut suppositories she's been using. No, but have you ever... I've seen many squirrels in the park, and they always seem timid, frightened even. Anyway, so you can download this thing, so you can be woken up by us in the morning. And I was just thinking about... what would be anyone's ideal wake-up in the morning? Because there's many theories that you woke up by the sound of running water and stuff like that, which I wouldn't like that in case I didn't wake up and just wet the bed. I used to have a goblin tease made.
Oh,
She's
did
dead
you?
now. No, I had a goblin tease made. My mum, when she retired from work, they bought her do you know what the goblin tease made is?
Oh, yeah.
It makes you a cup of tea in the morning. It's like an alarm that makes you a cup of tea. And I remember my dad said that they're only for lazy people. Give it to him. So I took it back to my bedsit. And when I don't know if you've ever owned a goblin tease made, but when it wakes up, before it wakes you up, before you set the alarm, so you set the alarm so that if you want to get up at 8, it gives you the tea's ready for 8 o'clock. So you wake up, reach across, cup of tea, and everything's lovely. But before that, it has to boil the water. So at about 10 to 8, you start to get. And when I heard that every morning, I used to keep my guitar, it's absolutely true, by the side of my bed. And I'd play the opening chord sequence to Silver Machine by Hawkwind, which used to start with this sound. And that was how I woke up every morning, lying in bed playing the opening to Hawkwind's Silver Machine. What about that?
Scott, the chef in Perth, says I've got a brush in my kitchen to play Posh Spice. And Bill from Bracknell, no, social commentary.
A brush? Must be very angular.
Bill from Bracknell says Jimmy Cranky for Ginger Spice.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know. I thought Ken Russell for Baby Spice.
Oh, God, that's so cruel.
You know, a very big face and just a wisp of hair.
Oh, Frank, I've decided how I'd like to be
the man in
woken up.
the moon? Would the man in the moon would he be a practical... Would you get him into a dressing room? I don't know. Sorry,
yeah, I've decided how I'd like to be woken up.
Go on.
I'd like to hear a voice saying, Mr. Mancini, your robe, sir.
I should
That's what I
explain
want.
that Emily likes the Manchester City manager, Roberto, who I think looks slimy. I've said it now. I've said it.
Well, you don't have to wear his robe.
I don't have to wear his robe. I imagine he has a Man City robe, judging by his ridiculous scarf. Anyway, enough about football. We'll be here all day.
Absolute Radio.
What about this? What about being woken up by this in the morning? I think this would be brilliant. Clay lies still, but bloods are over. Breaths aware that will not keep. Up, lad, when the journey's over, there'll be time enough to sleep. Oh, no, it's the A.E. Houseman alarm. Oh, what a fool I've been. Oh, God, people will come in now from Absolute. I don't know if you know, but at Absolute Radio, if anyone mentions... It's all right now, because you've mentioned it the first time, it's okay. If you mention A.E. Houseman or any of his work, an alarm goes off. You know A.E. Houseman, the Shropshire poet. I'm sure you're all thinking, oh, God, not more A.E. Houseman. That's why they brought the alarm in the first place, to stop that. Neil Francis was always going on about him. Neil Francis is alive, by the way. I started a rumour last week that he died.
That he was locked in a cupboard.
And a terrible smell was emanating. I think if he died, I think there'd be non-putrid. I don't think he'd smell anyway.
You're making this worse. Now we're going to hear this.
I thought he was a bit upset this morning. Can I just say he's not dead? He's very much alive. And I, for one, am happy to hear that. Yeah.
Gary has texted in Catherine Tate for Ginger Spice and Joe Brand for Posh Spice.
Joe Brand for Posh Spice. Yeah, he's casting against type. That's what he's doing.
And Ian from Reading, Mel B could be played by Medusa, the Greek mythical monster.
Yes, although she's hard to get.
Medusa.
She just doesn't answer my calls. I don't know what it is.
Well, apparently she's going to be in Emmerdale next anyway, so I think she's going to be busy.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah. So, look, we had a bit of exciting news, because really, we're not like a radio team. We're a family on this show. We do. We all huddle together.
We're a bit more Simpsons than Waltons, though, I think, as a family.
Yeah, we are, but there's love. There's love in that,
yes. Of love.
And we had a bit of an exciting thing this week. This is the most exciting family thing that's happened, I think, since Gareth's baby was born, and that is that Emily's got a new job.
I have. I can't rely on this gig to keep me in Prada, love, can I?
Well, that is true, I suppose, yeah. But maybe working in Prada, just on the Saturdays after this. So do tell.
It's a job at a fashion magazine called In Style. So, but you know that film, The Devil Wears Prada, where the bitchy woman walks in and throws her fur at an intern? That's what I'm like, basically. That's my job.
What is an intern?
You don't know what an intern is?
No, I'm owning
An intern is a seabird that's very in fashion.
Oh, okay.
An intern, that's what...
okay, well, I see you're already picking up on the fashion thing.
It's not. An intern is someone doing work experience, like a young helper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like me or Gareth.
So you're working...
So I've gone totally fashion now.
I should say, when Emily, obviously I'm talking as if I don't know, obviously I knew she got this job coming up, and when she told me who she was working for...
Because I said it's In Style magazine.
Well, it wasn't a very good line, you see, when we were on the phone.
Yeah.
And I thought she said In Soul magazine. And I thought, oh God, we'll get all the free odour eaters.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it's about time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's what I thought. But I'm glad you're working for
But it's so great as well, because even in the midst of that snow blizzard, everyone had 4-inch heels on. I found my spiritual home. It's fabulous.
Well, I respect them for that. I've been really struggling in the snow. I seem to slip. I can barely stand up, and I walk like the Rain Man to try not to fall over. You know, I'm a brilliant driver, and people will run, but joggers go past me, not slipping at all. I don't know how that works. There must be some special soul shoe, perhaps, that you can ask at In Soul magazine.
I don't work for In Soul.
So if we need any free, what do they have?
Fashion,
in the fashion
yeah.
world?
So what's
models?
Big? What's now, Em?
Yeah.
Well, you should both be wearing a kind of wet look skinny jean and a big chunky knit.
Right, a big chunky knit.
Yes.
I had those when I was at school.
I was one when I was at school. I was often called one, I must say. No one uses that word anymore, do they? You big knit. No, well, we're all very excited about it, I must say.
And we should wet our jeans.
No.
Yes. Well, we're not that excited. I'll tell you what I am excited about. Our guest today is, in my opinion, one of the funniest men in the world, Lee Mack. So,
I love Lee Mack.
Yeah, Lee Mack.
We presented the show with him when you couldn't do it.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I'd forgotten that. Yes. But he's brilliant. So I'm very excited about that.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I went to see. Well, me and Emily went to see David Baddiel's new film the other night called The Infidel. We laughed.
Yeah,
I wasn't
it's
invited.
brilliant. We recommend it.
You weren't invited, no, but it's very funny. I think you should go and pay to see it.
It was like a VIP screening, Gareth.
Yeah.
Just like I wasn't allowed into the House of Lords when we went round Parliament.
Yeah, well, I think that was probably sensible. Anyway, so I'm standing outside waiting to go in, and I said to my girlfriend, oh, that looks like that Nicola from Girls Aloud. Sure enough, it was her with a host of paparazzi, right? But have you ever seen that film Gremlins?
Oh, yeah.
It looked like she was suckling 2 gremlins, which is not something you see every day. And it turned out she had she was carrying 2 pogs, you know, those pog dogs, but in a blanket. She had them wrapped in a blanket in a terrible, grotesque. It's like something from a Razorhead.
Dogs in a blanket?
Yeah, dogs in a blanket. You must have had that on your Christmas dinner. Yeah, I suppose that would be very big sausages, wouldn't it? Anyway, so I'd never seen. Well, I had seen her in the flesh before, but she's gone through a transformation. I think Emily will agree with me that it's all changed for her since she made her Richard Nicole dress debut. I'll tell you how I know that.
Did you look that up?
I looked it up on the In Style magazine website. Did you see what I did? So,
just as I was starting to reevaluate you fashion-wise.
But she is pale. I think she's quite attractive, and I'm glad she hasn't.
And you're Casper the Ghost, so for you to say that.
Well, exactly. I had to have my photos up for an identity card to go into Houses of Parliament, and I looked totally like Casper. I mean, it looked ridiculous with the light bulb head and all that. But she looked. Do you remember those honey bear things? And it used to be like bears, plastic bears full of honey.
Oh yeah.
So it made the bear look like it was.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Well, if you can imagine that they sold milk in Nicola Roberts shaped bottles, that's what it looked like. Like I'd bought some Nicola Roberts carton milk, just completely white. Completely white. I was quite worried on her behalf. I think those gremlins are sucking the blood right out of her.
Absolute
Radio.
What's the Ethan update? Because many of you will know that, as I said earlier, probably the most exciting that's ever happened to our radio family was the birth of Gareth's little boy. Here he is. That's him. That's really him.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Well, sorry.
He's. Oh no, it's okay.
We'll have to update it. Bring him in.
He is now making his first word-like sounds.
Well, can't he talk yet?
No, he can't talk.
Oh.
How old is he?
7 months old.
7 months.
That's
When
a bit behind.
did they start?
It's older
I
than
started
that.
very young.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Me and Emily are such tragic figures, aren't we? Well, you see, we are barren.
We forgot to have children, so sue us.
He's been saying.
Go on.
He's been saying ba 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 ba.
Or is he in the Beach Boys? But that's not speaking.
No. Well, we think he might be saying Barbara.
Right. Okay.
Like, but
Is there anyone in the family called
we can't
Barbara?
think of who Barbara is.
Okay.
And I took him swimming this week, and he's really lovely. He's very into people. So you met him, didn't you? He's
Yes. He's very friendly.
No,
Yeah,
it's lovely.
He's very inquisitive, and I thought that's really nice. But I took him to swimming in a swimming lesson for babies, and I don't know how he's going to be in a classroom situation, because he basically spent the whole time looking around at everyone else while I was trying to get him to kick his legs. And
That's a bit
swim.
like you, though, Gareth, to be fair.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he takes after you. It's a focus thing.
Yeah, he would just catching people's eye, and then every now and then he would take a little drink of the water.
Oh no.
No,
That's not good, especially as a baby class. I wouldn't drink that water for £1 million.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine?
There's all sorts going on in there.
Oh, dearie me. Well, it's an interesting... I was reading about that because Nick Clegg, the leader of the Lib Dems, had a bit of a go at... what's she called? Gina Ford, is it? This woman who wrote this fabulous baby...
Oh, is she like a baby whisperer or something? Or she's...
Yeah,
or-
well, the baby
you blow
Whisperer
down the
is a
noses.
different book. Yeah.
And they'll come to you.
Go back to sleep. Please go back.
One of the things she says is don't make eye contact with your baby after 10 o'clock at night.
Ah.
What, in case they're a homicidal maniac?
Exactly. Yeah, don't start them. What an odd thing. What are they doing up at 10 o'clock at night anyway?
Yeah.
Actually, I've been in relationships when I've taken that as a rule. No eye contact after 10 o'clock at night. We got Lee Mack coming up.
I know, he's been wandering around outside.
Oh, I haven't
He's
seen
wreaking havoc out
I
there.
haven't
There's
seen
some
him
incident
yet.
going on.
He's certainly reeking. So yeah, I think he's one of the funniest men in the world. I believe that.
You don't have to sell Lee Mack to me. I adore Lee Mack.
No, but I'm just giving you my general opinion.
Absolute
Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, with Gareth, but most exciting of all with Lee Mack.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm a bit throaty because I did a gig last night and I've had about 4 hours sleep. So I don't want people thinking that you're interviewing Bonnie Tyler.
No,
This is me.
not again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn around, bright eyes.
No, this is me down the road.
It reminds me of our trip across Europe.
Yes, you look like you look slightly tousled, but
Yes.
I like. But it'd be a very nice jacket, if I may say.
Thank
so.
you very much.
We've been discussing
and
his
I did something
jacket.
I've never done before, which is wore my spectacles for a public engagement.
Oh, yeah.
I usually wear contact lenses, but I had 4 hours sleep. I came in, couldn't sleep after the gig, watched Big Brother, drank a bit too much wine, and then that noise that you had on your phone that I heard because I was listening on the way in.
Yeah.
That's the noise I woke up to as
Oh,
well.
really?
So when genuinely,
You've
I
got to
was
stop
lucky-
sleeping at our house.
Well, but it was. I was looking around my phone for the car when it had it on the radio. I was going, "Where's the phone?" And it was your phone on the radio. I panicked. I thought it'd gone behind the car seat. I was looking for it.
I hadn't thought about that. I must have thrown
there's
Britain
been
into
loads-
disarray.
Yeah, there's been about 85 car crashes this morning of people looking for the phone.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even notice you had glasses on. Isn't that weird?
Well, they're on
And
my
I don't-
face and you're looking at my eyes. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
He looks good in them, very
it's just-
statesmanlike.
Did you not think, because my eyes shrink, because I'm really blind, I'm minus 6.5, which you wear glasses, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, minus 6.5. You only have to get to 8 to get an orange sticker for your car.
Is that right?
Or something
Well,
like
that's
that,
something to
or-
aim at.
Well, it is, you know. It saved me the parking round
Well,
here.
exactly.
I had to pay with a credit card. That's all changed, isn't it? I came with loose change. Apparently that's very 1986.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, no, you're looking very Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Is the look.
It's the look I've got. It's the look. That's what I went into Ted Baker and said I'd like to look like an Edwardian lady.
Yeah.
Follow me, son.
You're actually served by Ted. Oh, that's good. So you're on tour at the moment, as you mentioned. It's a big one, isn't it?
Yes,
It's,
it's
97 dates.
Yeah, well, you see, I was in the situation comedy Not Going Out,
Yes.
and then sadly, the situation comedy Not Going Out, it was decided that wasn't going to be on anymore.
BBC decided it was not going out
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
ever again.
I was always pushing my luck with that title, wasn't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Never call a non-broadcast pilot Not Going Out.
Yes.
And
I called one pulled after 2 series. And, you know, it was leading them on.
And so I thought, you know, I better book in a tour. So I booked in a big tour.
Yeah.
Then it got recommissioned. So
So
now,
you needn't have got on tour at all.
well,
That surely is what you're implying.
Can you suggest there's a certain amount of fun in what I'm doing rather than just to pay the mortgage? But I've overstretched myself, so I'm booking in a breakdown for August.
Oh, that's not bad.
Sounds like you're already having it with the red wine and the Big Brother and 4 hours sleep.
Exactly.
Because like you know, I'm a control freak, so I book in my breakdowns. I want to know they're all scheduled. Do you know what I mean?
I have to say, I've never known such a... He asked me about this guy. He said, well, do you think this guy would be any good as a tour manager? Lee said to me. And I said, well, I've only ever done a show with him where I don't
Yeah.
tour. He does the show. He can make a show happen, but I don't know if he can book hotels and do the driving. And Lee says, oh, I'll be doing that.
Yeah. I book my own hotels.
I mean,
yeah.
who does that?
But
on
no, I've
tour?
learned to let go. I'm letting him book the hotels, but actually, I'm saying I'm letting go. I said, you book them, but come up with a short list of 3 for each night, and then send it to me, and I'll choose one from the 3. So I feel like I'm letting go a bit, but I'm still driving my tour manager around.
But are you really doing the driving?
Yeah, of course.
That
Don't.
is weird.
Yeah, of course I am. Because if he drives, he'll, you know, it's not me, is it? So therefore, it'll crash. I'm not
Yeah.
an idiot.
And does he feed you the red wine, or do you reach across and
No, I don't drink whilst driving.
No,
obviously.
okay, fair enough.
Obviously, I'm not a fool. I do that before I get in the car. I'm not stupid.
No, nobody does that anymore. I mean,
No,
when I was
drinking and
a
driving.
teenager, that was a big thing, drinking and driving.
Oh, well,
But
it was
thank
things have
God,
changed. Yeah,
thank
there's
God
not
it stopped.
and rightly so. It has changed. Bizarrely, in the 1970s, drinking and driving was just considered cheeky.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
And rightly so, it's changed.
Yeah, it
Do you know
has.
what I mean?
Let's all make it clear that we think it's a
No, it's
good
changed
thing.
for the better, without a doubt. Yeah.
Indeed. And I also said to Lee, what the hotels, and you said to me, I don't know if you did this, you were on about booking a house sort
Yeah,
of in
cottage.
the centre cottage. You said, I want a nice open fire. We're on tour, right? We're talking about going on
fire.
tour. An open fire.
And I turned up this morning in my tweed jacket.
Yeah, I saw there's 2 red setters in the lobby. I'm loving it. And
They
you
were
can
his
get your own trout
groupies.
farm.
No, I like a cottage. It's better than a hotel because you wake up and you've got like a feeling of being in a house, haven't you? You know.
Yeah,
rather
but
than-
I like somebody
do you like hotels,
making the
yeah?
bed and all that. Yeah, I like hotels.
Yeah, but your flat's like a hotel. It overlooks the Thames, and it's like I can imagine. I've not been in it, but I can imagine it being hotel-like. Do you know what I mean? I bet there's chocolates on the bed every night.
How dare you?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, Lee Mack. I think that's all the basic ingredients that you need to know.
I put my headphones on there because I thought that finished suddenly, didn't it? Or did you just stop it?
No, it did.
Does it stop like that?
It does stop just
I
like that.
thought you'd be really unprofessional. I thought I've had enough of this one. Just turn it off. I thought you'd just gone, I've had enough. Snow Patrol.
I do have those moments, but I've never actually curtailed one.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, Absolute, they play such good music, it's okay.
So you've got the permanent gig, Frank, don't you?
I know
just
that.
do that sort of talk.
So if you're doing a tour with 97 shows...
I said this last time and I'll say it again, you're the only person in Britain who has 2 syllables for tour.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're on tour.
You're on tour, yeah.
Oh, that's a good impression, Lee. I like that.
I know. I spent a lot of time with Frank.
So, were you not tempted to add the other 3 and make it around 100? Because that would have been a good publicity thing, wouldn't it? The
100.
Lee Mack's 100.
I hadn't even thought of that. But now, I am so annoyed at myself for not doing that now. I'm not
Well, you could add 3 gigs.
Yeah, but it's not the same now, is it? All the publicity's gone out. Spent a fortune on advertising.
Well, you can always come back on and say, guess what? I'm doing 3 other gigs.
Do you know, I'm so addled with I'm so obsessed with darts. If anyone ever says a number now, I always think of it as a checkout. Like when you said 100 then, I immediately thought treble 20 tops. and when you said 97, in my head I was thinking treble 19 tops. So as long as it's a finish, I don't mind.
Well, that's because you have the most working-class pedigree of any comic that's ever lived. Can I just read this out from
the most backhanded compliment I've ever had in my life.
Listen to this. As a kid, lived above a pub in Blackburn. After leaving school, he worked in a bingo hall and as a stable boy, and then became a blue coat at Pontins.
Yeah, you forgot. Hang on, you haven't mentioned the clog factory.
Have you arrived in a time machine from that? You've been doing music.
I've had an old school upbringing into showbiz, haven't I?
You certainly have.
Yeah, the Pontins, bit of bingo calling. Yeah.
So living above is that where the darts thing came in, living above
darts
the pub?
I used to stand on a stool. I wanted to be a professional darts player. I spent a year once on the dole playing darts 10 hours a day.
10 hours?
I was obsessed. You know, you've often told your stories and stuff about your drinking. Right?
Yes.
About is your obsession.
Yes.
We'll replace that with darts. That was my thing.
Well, darts is better for you. I think that's fine.
Well, yeah.
Well, the two are often linked.
It goes quite hand in hand.
But
what it was I got really good. I really did. I was practicing all day. And then I joined a pub team, and I went to pieces. I couldn't play in public, and I came to the conclusion that every time I would throw in my bedroom, I'd get on the bed, walk across, take the darts out the board, walk off the bed. So I was spending all day up on the bed, off the bed. So I couldn't play without the bed in front of me. So I thought if I could take the bed to the pub and just put it in front of the dartboard and replicate the home situation. But apparently that's not in the rules. You're not allowed to.
You can't. You can't replicate. I mean, I think you'll find you get nothing in this game for 2 in a bed. It's darts themed. That was darts themed.
Don't you just love darts? Who doesn't?
I do actually like darts.
Have you heard of darts?
Yeah, Phil the Power Taylor, love it. Phil the Power Taylor's my favourite. I watch darts all the time.
That's the other lot. That's the Sky lot. I'm talking about the BBC One darts.
So how come?
That's like the Coca-Cola. You see, basically the BBC One darts I think is not quite as good as the Sky, but I prefer it for. It's like the Championship as opposed to the Premier League. But you get a slightly more old school type of darts player on that one. You know, the big lads.
Yeah.
Because you know they can't drink now anymore.
Really?
Well, you can't drink on telly like they used to.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can't drink and smoke like they used to. So what happened? They thought that would be good. What they do, apparently, they're just all backstage before they come on, getting leathered, and they come.
They should have drips. They should have. You can get those drips on a trolley and the backless gown.
Yeah.
That would give it a bit of edge, wouldn't it? So has there been a celebrity darts TV show? Apart from Bullseye.
there should be.
I'm holding out for it. That'd be great.
You should be the host. You'd be the man.
I want to play. I like the idea because we used to do comedians darts every year. The Last Laugh Cup. I won it 3 times, and comedians would come and play in the Last Laugh Cup. And we set it up once where we had a big screen and we had a close up like they do on the telly of the board, and then on the split screen on the other one the player throwing it. But every time the dart landed, you couldn't see the dart because everyone was rubbish.
Oh, okay.
It was way away from the treble track. And every now and again you see a little bit of a flight in the
corner. You could just hear it.
Yeah.
Would have been a great radio show. So, who else is good at darts in the comedy world?
Well, me and Tim Vine are probably the ones that always compete for this particular trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, but Mainly me and him. 'Cause
Is anyone else in it?
there was one year where there was 3 of us turned up for the trophy and the other fellow wasn't very good, so me and Tim just played best of 11. It's a bit sad.
In your
Because
bedroom.
when I started that story,
Essentially.
you were going to go, they were all
Did he
Frank
give you a hand?
Carson, Dave Baddiel. Oh, it was oh, no, just me
David
and Tim.
Baddiel playing
I
darts.
can't imagine that. No.
I can imagine you and Tim Vine carrying your bed in before it started. That'll do. Just leave it there, Tim. That's perfect.
Absolute
Radio.
I need to establish you're on tour at the moment.
I'm on tour.
So where were you? Where were you last night?
I was. I did 4 nights at And Over the Lights. That's the name of the gig. And Over the Lights.
Right.
That's the name of the gig. My joke about that was And Over the Lights. Sounds like a armed robbery in a chandelier shop.
Very good.
And did it bring the house there?
No, they didn't get it.
Oh, okay. So that's in Andover.
Because they all looked at me as if to say, well, actually, it's called The Lights in Andover. You've just done that as a setup, haven't you, to a joke? They had that look about them. You know what I mean?
I hate it when they're
Famous, of course, Andover for the Twinings Tea Factory and where they make Stannah Stairlifts. That's what I found
You've
out.
been doing a bit of local
But it was one of
comedy.
those. But it was one of those things where I was talking to the audience saying, "What do you do for a living?" And every night it was only ever Twinings tea or Stannah Stairlifts. It's a rock and roll town.
So are you? You're actually the tour has begun,
The tour has begun.
right? And how long does it go on for?
It goes on to the end of December. I'm doing 97, treble 17, double tops. I'm doing.
It doesn't go on to the end. Does it?
It does. But I've got a big gap in between.
Right,
I
okay.
do me next one tomorrow, then I'm off till December the 23rd. Not really tour, it's just 2
You
gigs.
should have done a pan.
No, I'm doing. I'm having 5 months off. I say off. I'm writing the popular situation.
Look, can
probably not
I
going
just
out.
say that your publicity person has come over to me during that thing and said, "Could you mention the dates, please? I'm trying to get the dates out."
Oh,
of
the
you, and you
dates.
won't do
Well, I
it."
can't mention them all. There's 97 dates.
She got proper stroppy with me, and now you won't tell the dates.
Well, that's.
No, don't mention them all. But you're on tour now. When are you on tour till?
I'm on tour till. Well, at the moment, I'm on tour till the end of May.
Okay, so then you're off in.
Then I'm off.
Yeah.
No, I'm off. I'm working till the end of March.
Okay.
Then I've got April off.
Okay.
Then the whole of May I'm touring.
Okay.
And then, due to popular demand, I've extended the tour into November.
Right.
In November, Lee is playing Portsmouth, Manchester, Newcastle,
No,
Liverpool,
don't do them all.
Preston.
Don't do them all.
So I've got the phone numbers.
No, we don't want. We don't want
Do the
ticket
phone
details.
numbers, go on.
I think we've established.
Oh,
Do you know what I would suggest? I would suggest
677.
why don't you say check out further details on leemacklive.com. That's what I would do, but
Okay.
I'm not the
That's
producer
good.
of this show.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, what you're doing there is it could be too long-winded. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And if someone tunes in, they'll just go, "What's
I
this?
just
Is this a
think-
bloke reading out all the towns in Britain?"
I just think. Yeah, well, it could be the weather forecast. Or
It could be like, a bit
I
like
just-
Dogger Fisher, the weather forecast, but with just Preston, Chile, Nottingham, Dogger Fisher. I can never do that. I don't know what I
Chile.
mean.
That's
Chile.
not a town, is it? So, as you say, your sitcom is returning,
It is, yes.
which is good, that because it was pulled and then it was pulled back again. How does that happen?
Well, listen, I don't know how it works. With he's trying to be diplomatic.
Obviously, it was
The-
cut, and
it
then
was-
they
it-
really missed it. Is
Yeah,
what
well,
must have happened.
yeah, because I think we're a studio-based sitcom. So my theory is, if you're a studio-based sitcom, traditionally, they're the ones that bring in hundreds of millions of people, aren't they?
Okay.
And we only got 96 million.
Okay.
Which is 4 million short. 96, of course, is treble 18, single 2.
Single 20.
Do you think? Do you think they thought
tops.
they'd? Do you think they thought they'd
Treble
tracked out
18.
all the sets and then they found them again? Thought, no,
Treble
no,
20,
we
double
can't do
18. Sorry, Gareth.
it. Never mind.
Lee is like Rain Man, isn't he?
Thank you. Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Yeah, Rain Man was rubbish at darts, and if you ever saw
No.
it.
You're an excellent.
He always
driver,
knew the
though.
finishes, though.
Oh, he knew the
numbers.
he was
Oh,
great.
he knew the finish.
He was a great finisher.
Oh, yeah, he was
man,
a great,
he just couldn't do
great
it.
finisher mentally. He just couldn't.
He
He
couldn't
couldn't stop stabbing himself in the face with a dart. That was the
No,
problem.
he couldn't put it into action. So so go and see Lee Mack on tour.
Chatham's
When-
the next one.
When's that
No,
tonight?
it's not Wimborne. Wimborne. Where's Wimborne?
It's
I
near
don't
me.
know. I
Is
don't
it?
know that.
I've got a sofa bed if you.
That, to be honest with you, Gareth, as directions go, near me doesn't help. If I wound the window down in the street and said, "I'm looking for Wimborne," you, "I don't, it's near me," and then you walked off.
I'm
I
from
would know.
Bournemouth.
You're from Bournemouth?
Yeah, I've probably mentioned it.
Oh, sorry. Well, then that's good.
Don't get
I know what
stroppy. Don't
Bournemouth
get
is.
stroppy with the guests. I've told you
We
about
did a
that.
show together. No?
Turn, Connie.
I know, but he's
all
Lee's
placid
got a
on
lot
that.
on his
Yeah.
mind. Finishing mainly at double 12, treble 17, double top. Am I right? Double 12 was always my favourite double. Do you know that?
Really?
Funny old world, isn't it?
I would have gone for Scotch.
Yeah, I can see that from looking at you this morning. That was the fabulous Lee Mack, who is on tour and doing his sitcom, Not Going
He's
Out.
not going yet.
I'm not going. Can I stay? What do I do? Do I have a record
No,
and then
that's
stay?
it, isn't it?
Unless-
That's your last
Listen,
link.
I'm not going to. I can't. I don't want to sound rude, but I'm doubling up with Danny Baker. I've got to shoot.
Okay.
I'm off to
Okay.
do Baker. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Just get out. Get out!
Absolute Radio.
Frankie goes to Hollywood. That'll be the
Did
day.
you?
Yeah. I did once, actually. I remember I paid $1 in a shop to look at Madonna's... You know the Madonna's sex book with all the naughty photos in?
Oh, yeah.
They had that on a chain, and you could pay $1 just to look through it. Anyway,
Sounds like a really classy shop.
it was a classic shop. Speaking of books, I tried the Marshall... You know the Marshall McLuhan... You know Marshall McLuhan is a sort of this American writer?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He reckon the best way to buy a book is if you read page 69 in the shop and you like it, you'll like the book.
Really?
Because by that stage, the writer is absolutely cooking. He's found his feet, and that's that is the perfect example of how the book's going to be. So I tried it for the first time last week. I bought this. I picked up a book, Thomas by Joe Palumbo. Picked it up, page 69, read it, really liked it, took it away, and I love it. So it works.
You didn't try that with the sex book, did you?
No, I didn't try it. I didn't say
Okay.
where's 69. That would have been a terrible night out. And I did. I did the photo shoot for the new Absolute advertising.
Oh, did you?
It's a three-way thing.
Right.
It's me, the OC, Christian O'Connell, as some know him, and
Can't see these pictures on a chain, can you?
yeah, no, not yet. Although we were chained, and Dave Gorman. So it's the three of us standing in the
Oh.
bathroom.
Strange
sort of
triumvirate.
looking like three men who live together and shave in the morning. That's how it goes. But it was very.
How'd it go?
Well, the photographer was brilliant. Actually,
Okay.
he's very famous. He does lots of big billboard things. He did that food fight one for Channel 4 with. Anyway.
Oh, I know, with Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, he's very good. But we were lined up, and he kept saying, "Okay, so if you, Chris, if you want to just stand across," and I was thinking, "Who's Chris?" And I didn't think any more of it. And Christian said after about 10 minutes in, if he calls me Chris again, I'm going to have to say nobody calls me Chris. You know, Christian is my name. And I thought, oh God, the OC's having a bit of a moment.
If you want to shorten it, you have to call him Christ.
Yeah.
Or
But
nothing.
I got very tense every time the bloke said Chris. After that, it was like somebody was punching me in the stomach because I was waiting for the explosion. So anyway, we had a small break, and Christian was saying, I can't cope with this. And then when we got back, the bloke was saying, so Christian, would you like to start? And clearly someone had had a word.
Someone had had a word.
I loved it that someone had had a word.
I think fair enough. Why
Yes.
should the OC be called that?
Oh, I was with the OC.
Yeah.
We were a triumvirate on the day. We got on like a house on fire. Laugh! Yeah. It was.
So do you look nice in these pictures?
I was a nightmare, I'll be honest with you. I really got stroppy.
Nothing changes.
This
Why were
bloke
you
said, what about
stroppy?
if you stand in the bathroom and someone hits you with a baguette on the head to wake you up? And I said, a baguette in a bathroom? That doesn't make sense. I said, well, let's give it a go. And I walked out, and this is terrible, this is me getting started. I said, I just want to know, there was like 20 people there.
Oh,
for a
I feel
photo
sick
shoot.
thinking about you doing
And I
this.
said, I just want to know whose idea that. Can you raise your hand?
Frank!
This bloke raised his from the advertising
You didn't say
agency.
raise your hand.
Yes. So this bloke from the advertising agency owned up, and I said, right, now, would you get a baguette in a bath? I said, maybe if you worked at Greg's, but would you ever get a baguette in a
A
bathroom? He said-
loofah would have been the perfect thing. wouldn't
Yeah, I
it?
said that I hadn't got a loofah. He said, well, I was just looking around for things. I said, well, you're looking around? And he said, yeah, I found there was a baguette over there. I said, well, over where? And he showed me, and I said, oh, and that, right, and is that a bathroom? So it was all
You
like
sound
that.
like you were insufferable.
Yeah, and then I said to the photographer, are you the real photographer, or is the photographer tied up in a cupboard going, So I was, we got completely starry. It was brilliant. Dave Gorman was very nice.
Did he do anything starry?
No, he was very,
Oh, I
he
bet
was
he
very
did.
humble and sweet. And then somebody from the advertising agency, I said, oh, did you brainstorm these ideas? He said, we don't brainstorm anymore. He says, we have an ideation. I said, okay. And he said, blah, blah. Someone's official title was actually head of ideation.
The ideator. It's like the
Yes.
Terminator.
Oh, man. And he said there was a period in between brainstorm and ideation when we used to talk about idea showers. It's a different world. It's a completely different world. By this point, the OC had him by the throat. He was virtually uncontrollable. Now, we had a lovely day. I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures. They made us look like we just got up first thing in the morning, so they made us look
Oh, that
old.
must have been a challenge.
Oh, shut your face. Was for the OC. He turned up looking immaculate. We just,
The
just
OC makes an effort with his appearance.
No, he does, that's true. I think he's beautiful. You laugh, but... OK, well, these are the posters. That's about it today, I think. Ben Jones is sitting the other side of the glass, pointing at his watch. With his baseball. He always wears a baseball cap, Ben Jones. What is that? You see, I've got a thing with baseball caps. You know the strap at the back?
Oh, yeah.
I count how many holes they've used on the strap, and that's a sign of intelligence. When I wear a baseball cap, I have to leave it open. I have to let it flap. The brain's so big. But, I mean, he's got a big tail. He only uses... I don't think he uses any holes. It's just solid. Anyway, we better move on. It's 10 to 7 at night. No, it isn't. People checking their watches at home. It's been lovely talking to you today, and good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.